Okay, so we'll start off this haul with another micro drone from SPC Maker. I believe this is the 90NG. So it comes in this nice case just like the 95GF. And we'll take a look at the drone in a second here. Looks like you could probably store the drone in here with the props on, but the props didn't come on. And this one comes with the Gemfan Hulky 1940 tri-blade props. It's not a 2-inch prop, it's a 1.9-inch prop. Get a couple more of these 353S lipos with the XT30. And you get the battery straps. Got some zip ties and screws for the props. And they include an XT30 to XT60 adapter. Okay, here's a closer look at the drone itself. Very similar to the 95GF, just a little bit different frame. 2 standoffs here in the back instead of 1. And looks like you got probably the same components. I believe they've upgraded the 4-in-1 ESC to 28 amps, and they've also upgraded that on the 95GF, I believe, on the more recently shipping models. Same Omnibus F3, I believe. It might be an F4. I'm not exactly sure. I think it might be an F4. And you got the, I think I got the FlySky, same FlySky receiver and same video transmitter. So it'll be 25 and 200 milliwatts. And you got, again, the Micro Swift here, and I believe this is the one with the narrower lens. Yeah, this is the one with the 2.3 millimeter lens. It's a little bit narrower than the 2.1 that I prefer. And it looks like, you know, again, only a limited camera angle here, about maybe 15 degrees, 10-15 degrees. So probably will be modding this with the TPU adapter to get more camera tilt. I prefer like 35-40 degrees camera tilt. Yeah, the bottom plate looks pretty substantial. I think that's like 2.5 or 3 millimeters, and then you got the same 1104 7500 kV motors here. So this is Sunny Sky motors, so this is probably going to fly pretty similarly, but I think they've reduced the prop size because the frame's a little bit smaller. So 90 millimeters motor to motor instead of 95, so probably going to lose a little bit of power, but it should still fly pretty nice. So I'll have a review on this coming up pretty soon. Okay, I got another power cube here. This one is being sold by Full Speed RC FSD20 F3, so it's an F3 flight controller. Plus, I think it's a 4-in-1 20 amp ESC. It's all 20 by 20, and this one also comes with a video transmitter. So you can get a little antenna there with for the video transmitter with the micro FL connector. So obviously, it's all disassembled here, but I'll have a review video where I'll put this together. This is, you know, basically a 3-board stack, kind of like the one I just reviewed, the XJB. What was it? The F428 with the TX20. So that, I think that one was also 25 200 milliwatt power switchable, so not sure about this one, but I'll put a link in the description. You guys can check out the specs, and I'll have a review on this pretty soon. Okay, some more stuff here. Got another FPV camera. I think this is another micro camera. It's interesting. Okay, yeah, I think I remember what this one is. This is like a 1200 TV line CMOS micro camera. So you see you got the stain. This is like the same form factor of the other micro cameras here. I don't know exact dimensions, but you know, it's got the, this one's got the microphone, you got the audio, video, and power there. You got your connector here. I usually just desolder these and solder on my own wires because these wires are plastic and not very good. But this one has a much bigger lens. I think this is an M8 lens, I believe, not the smaller M7 lens. It might even be bigger. It might be an M12. I'm not 100% sure, but supposedly the sensor in this is better. It's 1200 TV lines, and you got a wider field of view on this lens here. And this, I think this is a glass lens. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we'll be doing some testing on this as well. And so I'm looking forward to using this camera. It looks like a really nice camera. Okay, so we got another. This is like a battery for your Fat Sharks, and this will also work with the Eishin EV100 goggles. So it's got the little notches here for your battery strap, and this has a balance lead here, and you got a little battery indicator on top. Although you can't really see that. This one looks like it's pretty low in charge. Pretty long power cord here for the barrel connector. I know the Fat Shark ones only go out to about here, so it's like twice as long. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. probably doesn't matter too much, just plug it in over here. So yeah, I'll 1600 milliamp hours. The ones I use from Fat Shark are 1800 milliamp hours. They don't last very long, so we'll have to test these out and see if these are any better. These are pretty reasonably costly. They're like half the cost of a Fat Shark battery. So if you're looking for Fat Shark batteries or ones for your EV100s, I try and check these out, and I'll let you know after my testing what the battery life is like and how long they last, the longevity of these. Okay, so this is a 2.4 gigahertz 2000 milliwatt range booster or radio signal booster here. So I'm going to be using this on some of the toy controllers and maybe experiment with, say, like the FlySky i6 radio to boost the transmission range of some of these radios, the cheaper ones. And you see it comes with some JST connectors and some SMA connectors here. I want to see how much additional range I can get with a booster signal, or a signal booster like this. I think this is like 25 bucks. 2000 milliwatts seems like overkill, because I think like a lot of the radios only are transmitting at like 10 or maybe 50 milliwatts. So I'm going to dial that down. That seems like a lot, but I'm going to give it a try and see if I can improve my range. And then, of course, it comes with a little higher gain antenna as well. You can screw on. So I'll be checking this out pretty soon. Okay, we got a micro frame here from GepRC. It's called the GepRC HX2 110mm Hummingbird. That's what it kind of looks like there. And I don't believe I've reviewed anything from GepRC. This is probably my first GepRC frame, but it comes in a pretty nice box. And I know that their stuff is pretty high quality. Got some stickers here. It comes with a little bit of documentation. 17-gram frame. And it's got the little side plates for the micro swift. Kind of looks like a lot like the bombshell frame that I reviewed a couple weeks ago. Interesting, but yeah, 1104, 1105, 1106 motors, even 1306 motors, so it might have some interesting cutouts there. 2-inch props. So the bombshell frame is for 2.5-inch props. This one is for 2-inch props, so it's a little bit smaller. And it's got a wavy arm design. It's kind of weird. But I don't know, what's the thickness of this carbon? It comes in at 2 millimeters. GepRC uses pretty good carbon. It seems okay. It's not flexible. Got a battery strap, and you get some hardware. Looks like some rubber bands, and looks like a little battery pad down here, and some nice standoffs. And you got your camera mount there, side plates, and the top plate. So I'm not 100% sure what I'll be putting in this, but if you guys have any suggestions on what to build, let me know. Okay, so this comes as a set, and I think it also sells separately, but the way it was purchased on Banggood was as a set. So this is the DYS F4 Pro. It's the flight controller plus the 4-in-1 BLHeli ESC, and it comes in 2 packages like this. Take a look at the flight controller first. Comes with an XD60 connector and a buzzer, and you get some nylon standoffs. And here is the flight controller. The reason that they're typically sold together is because they come with these pins here that will mate directly with the 4-in-1 ESC. It makes it for a cleaner build without any extra wires and extra weight, you know, just kind of floating around inside your build. But yeah, this is a F4 processor. You got a little voltage regulator. No, that's the black box chip, and you got a voltage regulator there. I don't believe this comes with a barometer. There might be a current sensor right there. There's a current sensor there and there. Multiple current sensors. OSD chip. MPU 6000, of course. And I think this is your bootloader button there. And none of these are labeled. There's no silk screening on this board because it's so packed. But I think you can either solder on your battery directly to this flight controller and your ESCs if you want to just go standalone. But it's meant to go with this other PDB here. And this is the 4-in-1 ESC. So if you don't want to use their 4-in-1 ESC and you just want to solder on your own individual ESCs, you can do that directly to this flight board. But obviously you probably want to get both of these together, and those are the pinholes for these pins. Where are they? Right there. So you want to be careful not to bend those. And then they'll go right there. And this already has an XD60 soldered on, very nice. And it looks like this sometimes these are some of the hardest things to solder on, so I like the fact that it's on there, and it's a good length. It's not too long, not too short. And it comes with a little manual for the, looks like for the flight controller. Yeah, there's all the documentation and what all the different pins are. Let's take a look at that later. And this shows you how to connect it to the 4-in-1 ESC. Very, very low profile stack there. So I think something like this would be pretty good for your really tight builds. Okay, so I got another frame here from Realacc. It's the Real One. It's one with the vertical arms here. And I think this is a clone of, I forget the name of it, some sort of, it's called like the Talon or something like that. And it comes with a bunch of aluminum parts here. This one, this build looks really complicated. And a crap load of screws. This doesn't feel like a very light frame either. A battery strap, and here's a little diagram of what it should look like. And that's what it should look like completed. Got some arm braces there. Okay, let's just see what this carbon looks like. Yeah, typical Real ACC carbon. You got some burring going on right there. Can't really see in the camera. There's some burring there, so I'm gonna have to take my diamond files and file these down. You can see right there. There's some more burring right there. So not gonna be handling this too much without gloves, because you can get little carbon splinters in your fingers, and that's no fun trying getting those on. Those are very itchy, so not surprised. So this frame is pretty expensive for a Realacc frame, just because probably because it's got all the parts and it's kind of complicated. I know that I think the real frame, or the original frame, not the clone, the original frame is like $115, $120, and this one's like $60. So yeah, it's like half the price, but I'm not sure if this carbon is all that great anyway, but I guess we'll see. This build looks super complicated, so if you guys want to see a full like frame build of this, let me know in the comments below, and I'll, instead of sort of just like, oh, here it is built, I'll go through the process of putting it together, following the instructions. I'll try and figure that out. This one looks like it could take a while, so leave me some comments below. Let me know what you would like in terms of a video for this frame. Okay, this one I've been looking forward to getting. This is the new Diatone GT200 for 2017. This is the normal one, not the stretched X. And let's see here. I love the packaging. It hasn't, obviously it hasn't been opened yet. It's got a Fury F3 board. Let's see what else we got here. 128 meg of black box data. HS1177 camera. SP2 VTX. I think it's the same one from the old version. And we got some 30 amp 4-in-1 ESCs. And we got the Sunny Sky Edge Racing motor, the 2306 2450 kV. This is the titanium color. So yeah, let's get this out of here. Warning message. Interesting. And we got your cables for your HS1177 camera. So they include that. A lot of the other kits don't. You got a bunch of instructions here. This is just like the original GT200. And we got some gem band props here. Some 5045 bullnose. These are okay. These are outdated props. I don't think anyone uses these anymore. We got a Amway antenna. This looks like this is an SMA antenna. Stickers. Some battery straps. Lock nuts, screws, a bunch of interesting stuff in there, hardware basically, and you get your choice of connector for whatever receiver you happen to have. And why are there so many of them in here? Just crazy. There's a anti-fake sticker on here. I guess yeah, you can scratch it off like a lottery ticket. Look at that. So apparently this one's not fake. Yeah, this one looks super nice. These are some really nice looking motors. I think this is silver plated copper windings. You got your hollow shaft there, 2306, 2450 kV, and they got the epoxy laminated carbon, just like the old frame. I think this is I think it might be, they might have updated some of the stuff on this frame, but it's pretty similar. They got the very nice titanium, wherever this plate here for the battery, and run the battery strap through here. And nice and flat surface here to keep the battery on. Very nice. HS1177 in the front. And you got, I think they updated the flight controller and the ESCs. And they got flight controller there, the video transmitter on the bottom, I think. And then you got your 30 amp ESCs. It's not a 4-in-1. The ESCs are on the arm. And you got some metal ESC protectors to protect from prop strikes. Pretty nice. Yeah, these motors feel super smooth. And you got your pigtail for your video transmitter. So yeah, just like the old model, but they've obviously updated it. Really looking forward to flying this thing. This is going to be a beast, but like the old model, it is a little on the heavy side. I think the trend these days is to go lighter. So obviously these motors will have plenty of power. That shouldn't be an issue, but maybe the 2018 version will have a new frame and will be lighter than this. But yeah, this feels like about the same way as the 2016 version. Okay, so we got the Holybro Kopis 1, another 5-inch racer. This is their flagship racer, and I think this one they put a lot of development into it. I think it's got a lot of really good components. They obviously, anything coming from Holybro, they've done their homework and they've put a good frame together with some good components to make something that'll fly really well. But here are some of the features. 5mm 3K carbon. So yeah, arms are going to be super strong, but might be a little heavy. Got the Kukute F4. Nothing. No surprises there. Betaflight OSD, of course. Got your Atlatl video transmitter. I think that one has the maybe there's a smart audio or the other one. I forget, but you can change your settings and power and all channels and all that through your OSD, Betaflight OSD. So RunCam Swift mini camera. I don't know if this comes with a receiver or not, but I think this comes with an F4. Yeah, an F4 processor. BL Heli 32 ESC, so D-Shot 1200. So they're definitely moving forward. Wow, it comes in a super nice case here. This was in the box just like this. It comes with a little handle, so you can probably just take it out to the field like this. It looks like it's about the size, hopefully with props on. Oh yeah, this is nice. So you can definitely take it out to the field with the props on in this case. Looks like the drone is actually held into the case with the battery strap. So it looks like this battery strap here is permanently attached to the case. You can't get it off. And so whenever you're done flying, you just stick it back in here and then strap it down to the case so it won't move around inside. It's nice. And this side here, you got a pouch. So you got some spare props. I think these are gem fans. And it looks like this is a GoPro session mount for the top plate, and get a foam block for whatever reason. Maybe that's a little dummy weight in there. I have no idea. And there's no instructions in here, but I believe the instructions are downloadable online. And the instructions I heard were actually written by Joshua Bardwell, so they should be very good. But the paperwork that they're including here is just marketing materials for some of their other drones and parts. And then I think this here is all of the parts that are in the drone itself, along with, I guess, if you need to get spares or whatever, then I guess you would reference these item numbers to get spares in case you need, like I say, a new frame, for example. Okay, so in this bag you got some heat shrink here and some zip ties and some battery straps, some, looks like a little ribbon cable here, probably spare for the Kokute, and some C-clips for the motors. You got a joystick here for your camera, little frequency chart, that's pretty nice to have. And here's a quick look at the Kopis. Pretty damn nice looking. A little pigtail here for the OSD for the joystick for the camera is just sticking out there. I have to zip tie that down. Obviously the GoPro mount will go on the top here. I think it just slots into these slots right here, and then you just zip tie it down. And it's using some T-motors. So you got some T-motor Air 40s, 2450 kV. I don't know what size that, I think that's like a 2205 size motor. But this is their sort of entry-level motor, not their like the F40 series. It's like the racing motor. So interesting that they went with the entry-level motor on such a nice setup. You can see, oh, this is a stretch X frame as well. So, and the carbon feels really nice. They got, like, I think the edges are beveled, so yeah, you're not going to feel that sharp corner that when you're handling your quad, which is nice. And not the top plate is even the top plate's a little bit beveled. You got some countersunk screws. Got your antenna sticking out the bottom like that. That's interesting. It's like this. Not sure how the reception is going to be. I wish the antenna were longer, maybe, if it was in there, but it should be protected. It's very stiff though. It's not going to bend at all. But it looks like the SMA connector is basically secured there with some metal, so I don't think it's going to be breaking anytime soon. ESCs are on the bottom. That's interesting. So the motor wires come through the arm. ESCs go into are attached to the bottom with, looks like, some tape or some heat shrink, and then the wires just come up like this. Should be okay. I don't think they're in any danger of getting cut. And looks like we have a little pigtail here for something that's on the, I think that's the flight controller. Yeah, that's the flight controller. Yeah, that's the Kokute here. And then the top board's the video transmitter. So this must be for the receiver. It doesn't come with the receiver, so I'm going to have to put like a XM Plus or something like that in here. Probably, yeah, there's not a lot of space. Probably right over the video transmitter right there, behind the camera perhaps. Probably don't want to put it right on top of the video transmitter. It's going to be pretty hot. And got battery strap and a little protection plate for your battery underneath. That's nice. And all the screws on the bottom are countersunk, so it's nice and flat. And then you got a little bit of a cushion here, or a battery pad, so that should hopefully prevent your battery from slipping. And this thing looks really nice. Looking forward to flying this one too. A lot of really good stuff coming out these days. A lot of good products. The parade of products is just crazy these days. And every iteration, these products get better and better. So it's like, why would you want to build anything anymore?